Hey everybody, Artosis here. Welcome back to ArtosisCasts. I am bringing you now another Moonlight Pro League. A big thank you to everyone who has supported on the Patreon. That's patreon.com/Artosis. A big thanks, guys. This is a match that I have funded between some amazing pro gamers. First up, we have Team Scan, which is consisting of Scan, Beast, True, and BarrackS. And then we have a Team ZeLoT of ZeLoT, Ample, Motive, and 815. So a little bit ZERG heavy overall in this particular Moonlight Pro League, but it's going to be a great one. Some really strong names in there, as you can see. First up, we're going to have a best of 7 between the two teams, where, obviously we're going to see them all play quite a bit, and whichever team wins that best of 7 gets a point. Round 2 will be King of the Hill, with the winner stays. And then in round 3, if it's tied at 1-1 to that point, we'll have a super ace match where the best player will come out from both sides, and we'll see who ends up winning. So yeah, I hope that you guys are enjoying this type of match. I love the Moonlight Pro League matches. This just kind of refers to matches that are funded by fans that take place at night on the Korean server. A bunch of pro gamers get together and play in this awesome Pro League style. So going to be a great match that we're going to be watching for at least the next several days here on ArtosisCasts. And thank you again for everyone for subscribing and supporting. It's really, really appreciated. Hope you've enjoyed all the new content and everything. And yeah, looking forward to this. Now, we're on Fighting Spirit, a map I personally hate, but obviously a very well-known, popular map that we've had around just about forever. As you can see up here in the top right, we have Ample, and down here in the bottom left, we have Beast. So who's favored here? I would normally go with Beast. I like Beast stylistically here against Ample. And in general, I've felt more in the past, like, I don't know, year, I felt like Beast became maybe a bit stronger than Ample. But that being said, more recently, Ample's really been picking up steam. He made it into ASL Season 15. He's just been playing better and better and better, which is nice to see, because Ample, I think, was quite strong, like, 3 years ago. Like, he was in KSL, he was doing really well on the ladder and in practice matches and stuff, but he did kind of disappear for a little bit, wasn't having as good results. So we'll see what he can do here against Beast, who obviously has been, like, super active within the tournament scene, has had some great results, including, if I'm recalling correctly, top 4 in the CNSL, number 5. But yeah, let's see how it goes. This particular map is kind of crazy. These spawns are actually pretty good for the matchup. Fighting Spirit is a map where I always have to mention, based on where they spawn, how the game is likely to play out. Now, the top right spawn, this is probably the least problematic spawn for TERRAN players against ZERG. The natural is defendable by turrets, unlike some of the other natural bases. The main base is plenty big. It's kind of got a lot down here that's hard to utilize correctly, but this is a big enough area to get most of your macro buildings in. So really not a big deal for TERRAN. And then for ZERG, it's like kind of never that big a deal. It's all pretty defendable, since you have kind of the more of the mobility with the Mutalisks and everyththing. But anyways, taking a look at these particular builds here, Ample is scouting out the quick layer from Beast. It looks like a 2-hatchery Mutalisk opener, which of course this is the most common build that you see in this matchup. Looks like the SCV not going to live too much longer, but honestly, it stayed alive long enough. And he's seeing like 6 lings, right? So that's a decent amount of intel. In fact, if he sees this pop out as a drone, that's actually pretty nice. I've mentioned this before in previous casts. After this Overlord pops out, if you see anything that comes out of eggs and it's not lings, generally it's not going to be anything too aggressive. You might be able to skip the bunker, but most players will not. If you're skipping the bunker, you're like, you're playing with fire a little bit. The bunker at this point, the only thing it slows down is the additional barracks, right? You've kind of already got your academy going. You've already got, well, in this case, you do have the very quick engineering bay going. So the main sticking point, I guess, in early game TVZ is making sure that you get your academy started before a bunker, which in this case, not really an issue. Now, 3rd hatch in the main base for Beast, so that's going to be very easily defendable. And in this game, that's actually gonna be really good for him, because notice once again that this is a very quick engineering bay. So this is a quick +1. Ample will probably go 4 barracks with this, which will apply a ton of pressure onto Beast. And if Beast had a 3rd base location, like let's say up here or down here, that might be very hard to hold because there's going to be so many Marines and medics on the map. But as is, when you're on the 2 bases with a 3rd hatch in main, then you're going to be able to field more units than other builds and have only the single point of defense against Marine medic. So when you put all that together, that's pretty solid against what Ample is doing here. Now, a drone started to leave. I don't know what that was all about. I was actually getting confused. I'm like, is he going to take a 3rd right now? That's not very common with this type of opener with the 3rd hatch here. And that scan we just saw actually located the 3rd hatch. So that was actually a really cool scan. You know, maybe if he scans here and doesn't see any hatchery, it's not quite as clever. But the fact that he spots that is where that 3rd hatch is, very, very powerful. Now, turrets going up all over the place. We have 1 turret in the main there. Range, by the way, already going. +1 almost done. Only 2 turrets to the natural so far. Like, he's playing it pretty loose right now. Like, these are kind of late turrets from Ample, but not taking any damage yet. So that's good. That's really what you're looking for, right? As late as you can get those turrets without taking damage, that's the best that you can do. So he's got 3 very well-placed turrets here. These are really excellent. They are slowing down mining from a couple patches. Just a little tiny bit. You can see, like, this little turn. But if it helps save SCVs, that's good. Notice how all 3 turrets are shooting at once. This is what I was talking about, where this is very defendable by turrets, whereas a lot of the other naturals on this map, you can't do things like this. So, well done right there. Ample moving across the map. His range is about to finish, and he has +1. So that's already a very scary bioforce that we see. The factory is on the way before 7 minutes, which is awesome. He scans down ahead and sees 3 morphing creep colonies. These creep colonies will become Sunkens very, very quickly, or he will die. Oh my god. Yeah, it looks like those are going to be up in time, so very well done. The Muta's coming and trying to get some of the reinforcing Marines. They do pick off a few. They do slow down this group a bit, and of course, this group not going to get there before those. But, oh my god, he's going to pick off 2 Overlords. Really, really nice supply block right there from Ample. And that's a mistake from Beast, right? Like, those are Overlords that he was almost certainly utilizing for micro with his Mutalisks. For those of you who don't know, you group your Mutas with a slow Overlord on the edge of the map because that makes them stack while you click them around. So 2 of them, and the thing is, basically you use one until it gets far out, then you send it back, and then you grab another one that's far away. So it's like this continually thing that you're refreshing. But the fact that 2 of them were caught and then Beast sniped a 3rd, dude, 300 minerals of Overlords plus that supply block, Ample looking good. That was a great move, and Beast has to be kicking himself over that, because other than that, he's been very safe this game. Now, notice that a couple more Sunkens are going to come up. This is a lot of Sunkens, and we have a very fast evolution chamber. That scan sees the speed of the hive, and it sees the evolution chamber. So Ample now knows that this is, in fact, a crazy Zerg opening from Beast. We'll see how he deals with that as the Mutas fly through. They take out the 2 SCVs building those starports. That's actually pretty big. It slows down the starport. It slows down that +2 attack, which is certainly something you want to slow down, which, by the way, +1 armor is like 3/4 of the way done, but he hasn't started the eBay. He wants to start that at the same time as the science facility. It's really, really important to have +2 attack lined up. Watch, I bet you he'll make it right there. No, that's an extra barracks. That's an extra barracks. You need to get that additional engineering bay very quickly, because when you're playing against Crazy Zerg, the #1 thing is to make sure your attack upgrades are at least equal to your opponent's carapace upgrades. If your opponent gets up 1 upgrade, the battles go very much towards him, and that goes both ways. Like, if TERRAN stays an attack upgrade up and macros well, those ultras will be killed off. So yeah, very, very important from both sides here. Now, Ample losing a group of Marine medic out on the map. That was a little bit greedy for him to still be out there with such a small group. At this point in the game, you're really looking to be out on the map with 20+ Marines to make sure that, Zerg can't just squash it like we just saw right there. By the way, we have that 2nd engineering bay coming. +2 carapace has been started. So we have this slight upgrade edge here for Beast. Basically, as long as this starts right away, it's only going to be like a 20 to 30 second advantage on upgrades, but that, you know, if they happen to fight during that time, you'll definitely see the difference in those ultras. We'll keep track of that. But the Ultras Cavern coming up, third base on the way in the top left. Looks like we have just some few groups of units around, kind of spotting what's going on. The Mewtwo's still flying around and about as Ample adds on some science vessels. Yeah, he has that +2/+2 coming up now. So very, very good upgrades. But again, you got to make sure you have those equal when you're fighting against the Ultras. Second Evolution Chamber is up here for Beast, so he'll be getting that melee attack, of course. Nidus Canal going up for that defensive purpose with the top left. Now, Ample actually has enough units here, an ample amount of units, I might say, to destroy the top left. Okay, this is the weak moment for Crazy Zerg, where it's like, okay, we have this one area with a bunch of Sunkens. We have a decent amount of Mutalisks, but it's not scary against this much bio. And Ultras are just starting. Okay, Chitinous Plating is not even done. Ultra Speed is not done. Now, he's counterattacking with the Mutas. This is to try to draw the bio back so that the bio does not kill his additional base. But I think Beast is in trouble because he's not buying into it. There's plenty of Marines popping out. He feels like he can defend this still. Repairing these turrets also very, very important. It seems like he has enough, and as the Bioforce actually hits this top left, yeah, there's a Nidus, but there's not going to be enough units, I don't think, right? These are 1/1 against, well, it does have the Chitinous Plating now, but that's equal. That's equal upgrades, right? It's +1 regular carapace. He runs away. He realizes that's too much, not going to be able to save it. So Beast loses his third base. A huge moment here for Ample. All right, getting up to 7 barracks now. Yeah, this is always smart. Leave a Marine here to make sure that they don't morph a drone and just retake it. It's actually really important. It takes forever to actually kill the larva, even with your entire force, because they have higher armor than you have attack, right? So you're doing like 0 or 1 damage each attack with the Marines. But yeah, you just don't want them to do that, to turn it into a drone, retake it immediately. It's too quick. So right now, Beast is getting on the map with more units, comes down with a bit of a flank, and Ample is spread out. So this was certainly a mistake from Ample. He's bringing more units down, but loses those 2 vessels, loses a bunch of his bio. He was very split up. You know, playing against Crazy Zerg is all about getting critical mass of your Marines and medics so that you have enough that the Ultras aren't having a good engagement. Ultras are unbelievably strong against smaller amounts of bio. Like, that's why you'll notice that dropship play generally doesn't do much once Ultras are out, because they clean it up. Like, 1 Ultra and a couple Lings basically kill a dropship full. But once you get 4 groups of Marines, then suddenly you have such a strong ball of units that the Ultras, they aren't really getting the same type of surface area, right? Like, there's so much focus fire going down on each one of them that they do begin to pop. So definitely a little bit of a mistake there, but Ample regroups. You see, he has a huge amount of bio moving towards this brand new third base, and if he can knock this out and minimize damage from a counterattack, he's going to be incredibly ahead. But let's see about that minimizing, right? This attack is about to come in, and yeah, as the Ultras go into the natural, look at this. The Sim City is okay. It's going to slow the Ultras down. They're going to have to kill off this bunker, but there's not many units on the high ground. SCV's coming out to block the ramp, and that's a great way to counter Ultra attacks. And it looks like the Ultras come back out to fight against this bio. He leaves just a few Marines at the bottom right. The rest of his army running up very quickly. A great defense matrix there on a single Marine that's giving him time to get the rest of his bio up here as well. The Ultras may need to pull back. It seems like there is enough Marines. Some good Scourge, though. They do pick off 1 vessel. Maybe going to get another. Down it goes. And the Mutalisk flock is almost gone as well. So I think that this was a good enough attack here from Ample, a good enough defense, rather, right? He sent those few units to still go ahead and kill the base, but then also turned around and saved himself from the counterattack. He didn't have to lift off his command center or anything, just goes ahead, cleans up the Ultras, makes them run away, and look, now double expanding here. Beast is getting desperate. He needs a third gas. It's incredibly important. Ample, of course, we don't see that third base yet. He's starting to float a command center down. You know, as long as he walls this, he should be fine. Just taking a look down here, there's not really enough gas for Beast to get Defilers, right? That's one of the main things. If you're keeping them very, very low on gas, they can only make the Ultra Ling. So without Defilers, he can't easily bust a base that has something like a wall. He's already got the factory there, so I think it's a great opportunity. Look at this, running back from Ample. This is a very thin area, very hard for Ultras to attack into here. Some good irradiates coming down as well. And it seems like Ample should just be able to clean this. That's a dangerous thing, by the way. The irradiated Ultralisk in a mineral line will kill those SCVs very quickly with its splash. Now, looks like he is doing a medic block here on the ramp. Doesn't look like he's got it set up quite right. You should move the factory, set up the medics, then send it back. So basically what happens, guys, he doesn't have it perfect here. This might work. But what you do is if you put 2 medics underneath, and 3 is actually better because it makes it Ling tight, but 2 will make it Ultra tight, and you float a building over it, you put them on hold position, you have Marines behind, the Ultras literally can't attack them. The attack priority will always go towards the Marines. So you either need lurkers or you need to kill the floating building, which you can't really do with ZERG. Unless you're going like Hydra's late game, right? Like you're just not going to be able to get that. So there's no way to really break through there. Really, really strong defensive play. He's going to go ahead, set up that bunker, make sure he's got units that are always shooting down the ramp. And again, without those lurkers, not any really great way to bust that ramp. So now that third base is up. Those 3-3 upgrades are still coming. Just about to finish the +3 attack. Let's take a look at the upgrades over here. Yeah, he's already got that +5 carapace. So this is maxed out carapace. Only +1 melee. Like we mentioned before, he's getting low on gas, so it's a little bit hard. The melee attack is not as important. Obviously, it's a good upgrade and you want it, but it's more about the carapace than anything else. Now, Ample going across the map, he's got a lot of bio here. It's very spread out at the moment. You can see it's like quite a train of Marines and medics. 5 vessels mixed in as well, radiating the Scourge. I actually think that's a really good plan. It's hard to stop the Scourge from killing your stuff when the Ultras come in at the same time. So go ahead, utilize those irradiates. In the meantime, the Ultras run around. No block on this side, so they will be able to get in. These Ultras could take out this bunker pretty quickly unless you get a bunch of SCVs repairing immediately. And it looks like he gets just enough to make sure he can hold on. Very solid repair right there. And as the Ultras run up into the natural, it's like Ample's got so many units on the map. I don't think that Beast has much opportunity here. Look at that. Erases that Ultra. 3 more come up. And I mean, that's annoying, but he's got a bunker here. He's irradiating. He's got additional Marine medic. Well, I guess just Marines, really, to push these back. And now going to attack this 6 o'clock base. This is such an important base economically here for Beast. Like, he needs this to be mining. And it looks like it will get taken down. In the meantime, a small force hitting the bottom right where he's trying to expand again. These 2 Marines were able to take out this hatchery and everything falling apart. Very solid macro game here from Ample, I have to say. He really has been improving his play a ton lately, and you can see it reflected here. Amazingly executed game. Great defense. Great solid macro. Decision-making on key. I got to tell you, a very good game. A very good game coming out of our Terran player. Not that Beast played poorly, but it seems like he just was never able to get that third base up, that third gas. Incredibly important to hit that tipping point of your Ultralisks. Unfortunately for him, it's not going to work out. He runs in with his final few units and gets great surface area, so actually like kind of is doing well, but he's just not got the economy to back this up, unfortunately. Looks like he can come down, maybe get rid of this base. Like, if you kill a few of these SCVs, get good surface area in the bunker, sure, you can knock that down. Maybe you can force a lift. And, I mean, you start to do something, I guess, right? Like, there's not many mineral patches here. It just seems like the standing army and vessels should be enough to just help Ample get through this at the end of the day anyways. Very, very hurt Ultras. The irradiates can basically clear out everything that's left over here. Little Ling Ultra attack looks like it's going to go ahead and hit the counter, but that's a lot of Marines waiting for him with 3-3 upgrades. More units just kind of flowing across. Even the mineral patch is almost gone for ZERG here, so that kind of shows his drone saturation. Being stuck on 2 base all game long. Not working out very well for him. And honestly, I think we're about to see GG here. That's it. Looks like Ample going to win the first game for his team.